Welcome everyone to Market Simulation Call for Fall 2021 release. My name is Anshuman Vaidya. I'm your Market Simulation Lead, and today is September 13th. Calls and webinars are recorded for stakeholder convenience, allowing those who are unable to attend to listen to the recordings after the meetings. The recordings will be publicly available on the ISO webpage for a limited time following the meetings. Recordings and any related transcription should not be reprinted without the ISO permission. We have the following agenda today. We'll talk about Mapstage Availability. We'll talk about any changes to the market simulation initiatives and timelines for fall 2021. We'll have more details about the separate initiatives. Then we'll talk about any updates to the system interface changes that are coming with fall 2021, and then we'll talk about next steps. You can log into portalmap.kaiser.com to get up-to-date Mapstage availability information. Currently, we have the following maintenance scheduled. We will have a brief interruption for Oasis on 9/14. On 9/17, the UI will be unavailable for cyber. In addition to that, we'll have a network model update, possibly 3 hours of interruption on 9/17. Any questions regarding any of these maintenance items? All right, moving on. As discussed in the last market simulation call, the date remains the same from the last call. We haven't made any changes here. We did have some questions for the entire shadow pricing resolution project last time. So I've invited our SME, Greg Ford, to talk a little bit about this project and give us a brief overview. Greg?
Yeah, hi Anshuman, this is Greg Ford. So my understanding of the project is that currently for resources that are providing ancillary services on the ties, in the cases where there is also congestion on the ties, that they may not be, those resources may not be getting their full price that they should be getting for those resources, and it's down. What should be happening is they should be getting the AS clearing price plus any of the shadow prices from those intertie congestions at those points. So, for example, if you're bringing in ancillary services at Malin, you'd be entitled to the system ancillary service price plus any ancillary service additional price for the Northern California area, plus I believe any of the external ISO prices, and then plus any congestion prices on the Malin ISL tie. Those were not being made. I believe there are corrections manually that are occurring that will make those people whole, but what the intent of the ISPR going forward is that those prices will be generated and communicated downstream to settlements in a consistent manner. And in addition, any price corrections that involve changes to the shadow prices at, for example, at Malin, will then be incorporated in any resource-specific ancillary service prices. And then on the settlement side is to make sure that those prices received either from the market or from the price correction system are received and settled properly. Are there any questions on that? Okay, that's all I had.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Greg, for joining us and giving us a brief overview.
You're welcome.
So if there are no further questions, then we can move on to other slide.
Hi, Anshuman. This is Chen Yu from PG&E. I think the question from last week was that understand intertie shadow pricing resolution will have impact on the settlements, right? And I believe the start date to the end date was only from September 27 to October 1. The question was, we won't even get like September 27 settlement until the following week. So when you want to conclude a test, whether, so I think the question was that, yeah, we will validate the settlement statements against the market run on the September 27. Therefore, the question remaining whether the test timeframe will be covered beyond October 1. I believe that was the question, and I'm not sure you have any answers for that.
Thank you, Petunia, for bringing this up. Go ahead, Greg.
I was just going to say I don't think I can answer it too, but just so I understand, what you're really saying is that you're not going to have time to validate the settlement statements before we go live. Is that really what you're, is that the main concern?
No. Well, last time when we saw this one is going to conclude the testing on October 1, and I think that we and also I believe Power Settlements also have question as will you give more time for the testing, because they're going live November 1, right? But I believe the test conclusion the date is 1/1, and we definitely thinking when if you publishing September 27th statement, it will come to maybe October, I don't know the day, but October 7, 8, something like that. So at least you will give market participants a chance to look at the settlement statement.
Right. So, let me ask you this. Are you planning any unstructured testing for this project that is going to affect the results?
Yes, we are. We're going to check the reports on the UI, and our Smith also is going to compare what he see on the UI to the BD, the bill determinant, when the settlement statement's being published.
Right. I'm just trying to get this information, as we are not going to shut down our system to produce settlement statements. The settlement statements are still going to come out, even though we'll be focusing on EIM entities. The market system and all the other systems are going to keep running. You're still going to get settlement statements on the days, Tuesdays and Thursdays when we send out the settlement statements. So what I'm asking is, would you have to change some settings to review the results for this particular project?
I don't think we're going to change the settings. At least I'm not. We probably, we will definitely download those 3 impact reports. But when we're doing the testing, we just plan to look at the Oasis UI just to check those new information. And then and matching the data when we look at the BD and just matching back to what we're seeing in the report.
Based on this information, I think there should be no problem testing this project in parallel with the EIM testing that is going to commence in October. And I think those two can go in parallel.
Okay, I guess that's all we need to hear. Thank you.
Sure.
Hi, this is Tony Gerard from Power Settlements. I'm just curious if you even would, since it's not a structured simulation, maybe Greg could answer this. What is the likelihood that you would see any difference in the pricing for this particular trade day? I mean, we would do the same thing. We would validate that the data, in settlement and the BDs are populated and all that, but I'm not sure if this is a difficult initiative to actually see when the AS pricing is coming in.
Right. I think according to my information, we are adding more information to the report, and those more information will be, sent down to Oasis and settlements reports. So that's probably
Okay.
an additional field that you would be able to review.
Yes.
Hi, this is
Greg, do you have anything else? Yeah.
Yes. I believe if I remember right, the reason why we thought this could be this didn't have to be a structured scenario is you could create, let me think about this, you could create your own congestion at whatever tie point you're providing the AS at. For example, same example, Malin, you could submit a number of low dollar bids for a very high volume, and you should be able to generate congestion based off of that. And then so then you can ensure that you're getting intertie congestion at whatever point that you want to validate. Does that make sense?
And can I add something also, Greg and Anshman? So we understand that the market sim is starting later than expected for intertie shadow pricing for the unstructured sim, but to share our plans, we do anticipate running our end-to-end exercise in the Mapstage environment next week in preparation of certifying that functionality to be available for market sim. So what that means is that for Oasis, we set up a condition, for intertie shadow pricing, we will set up a condition in Mapstage so that the settlements and Oasis data will show and demonstrate the functionality for intertie shadow pricing, and that data will be available in Mapstage, although it's for our internal readiness to make sure that we're ready for market sim. So we'd be happy to share our results of that end-to-end next week for those 2 trade dates, just as a preview of what you should expect. And then once that passes, then we would officially release it for your testing the week after. So although the market sim is starting later, we should be able to share some results, preliminary results to you after, before the start of the market simulation as well.
That would be great.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, that would be very helpful. Thanks, Trang.
Yep, all right, we'll plan on that.
Thank you, Trang. Any other questions? All right, let's move on. This slide is just giving you more information regarding real-time settlements review phase 2 project and energy storage and distributed energy resources phase 4 implementation project. As I mentioned earlier, the real-time settlements review phase 2 project structured simulation will be done on September 16th, September 28th, and for ESDER 4, we have a structured simulation on September 21st. We're going to do end-to-end testing for ESDER 4 this week. Any questions regarding these 2 projects?
Hi, Anshuman. This is Ray calling from PG&E.
Go ahead, Ray.
Thank you. I was wondering, since tomorrow is going to be the start of connectivity testing for ESDER 4, are we on track for us to do connectivity testing for ESDER 4 in Mapstage?
Mapstage is open. Yes, you could start the connectivity testing right now. We have received the ESDER 4 code, and we were still working on some of our end-to-end cases. Trang, you wanted to add something?
Yeah. So I think, Ray, could you elaborate on what systems that you're planning to do connectivity on? Is it for ESDER Cyber, CMRI, or Oasis, or a combination of those?
From my side, I don't know exactly which applications, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be a combination of those. Are there going to be any that are offline at that time or during the connectivity testing week?
So let me share with you what we'll cover later on. in the form of the interface changes. So we do expect interface changes for ESDR, for Cyber, CMRI, and Oasis. And then we also have the settlements changes, of course, too. The settlements changes at this point are in Mapstage for ESDR, the Cyber changes as well. CMRI and Oasis for ESDR are not in the Mapstage environment yet, and so again, that's reflected later on in the presentation, and we're working with the project team to identify a target date for those to be available. So yes, thank you, Anshuman. So if you look at the top here, you'll see master file is available for ESDR 4 for connectivity. Cyber is available as well, and CMRI and Oasis are still blank for the Mapstage targets because although we're taking an Oasis maintenance to apply intertie shadow pricing changes, that does not include the ESDR Oasis changes. So we owe that to you to provide that information, and we will prepare to provide that by Thursday's call, a better ETA for those. So I hope that helps break down what to expect for ESDR.
That does. Thank you, Trang. Thank you, Anshuman.
Sure.
Hi, Anshuman. I have another question. This is Chen Yu. So for the, so Trang just covered about the Oasis on September 14, what you guys going to deploy. What about Cyber for September 17 on the UI unavailable? So what initiatives code are you planning to deploy on the 17th?
Trang, you want to take that?
Sure. So for Cyber, the maintenance that's planned for this Friday in Mapstage, that includes Cyber changes for hybrid resources that we're anticipating. And so changes, I would have to get more detail on whether those changes will be exposed externally or not, but nonetheless, the release that the Cyber changes are coming in will require some security testing on our side, which is why we're planning for an outage. What I'm not sure of is whether that UI change is going to be visible internally only or also to market participants. So I will confirm that, but it includes hybrid resources changes is what we're anticipating to move to Mapstage on Friday.
Thank you. That's helpful. Thanks.
Perfect. Any other questions? All right, moving on. So for the projects we are having unstructured simulation, market simulation, the business requirement specification document are available here for hybrid resources phase 2A, intertie shadow pricing resolution, EIM base schedule submission deadline phase 1, and short, long start definitions. Any questions regarding these 4 projects? All right, moving on. So it's a quick reminder about the system interface changes. The MRIS changes for OSI 2021 project has been installed into Mapstage on 8/30. The master file, we have some changes for variable operations and maintenance that has been deployed to Mapstage on 8/30. And we have targeted date for production deployment too for a year. Any questions regarding these system interface changes? All right. Moving on. We haven't added any more changes over for this system interface changes slide. These are for changes coming for ESDR 4, hybrid resources phase 2, and intertie shadow pricing resolution. And most of the changes are already in Mapstage right now. We are still waiting on CMRI and Oasis changes for ESDR 4 to come in. And I will let you know about those days when we get the data. Any other questions regarding system interface changes? I know we already discussed this in the previous slides. All right, moving on.
Hi, Anshman, this is Chunyu. Yeah, so when I look at the schedule in the SF4, so at this point, without knowing when you're going to get the code for CMRI and Oasis, how does that impact your end-to-end testing? Because I think you are currently conducting the end-to-end testing for SF4, right?
That is correct. So for our end-to-end testing, we'll have to definitely review the code for CMRI and Oasis before we can make it available for market participants. But currently, we are trying to do our end-to-end test cases regarding just testing on the market side code so that whenever the CMRI and Oasis code is available, we can deploy the code and then verify the previous results.
Right. So my next question is, how does this do to the, the next Tuesday? It is the target structure scenarios, the 21st. How
right.
does the current schedule impact? Do you see any impact on the 21st?
Currently, Chunyu, we are trying to get all these changes in. I might have more details by the next marketing call, unless if you have a little bit more details regarding this.
Yeah, so those are really great questions. So just to give you a little insight on the end-to-end for ESDR. So we did run that from upstream last week for our trade date last week. And you're right, as the CMRI and Oasis changes still need to be migrated and promoted to the Mapstage environment. But once that happens, we plan on resending the data from upstream for that end-to-end into those CMRI and Oasis systems to complete our full end-to-end cycle. So in terms of the 9/21 trade date, we would again anticipate the CMRI and Oasis changes to be in by then for the validation. But we need to confirm that with the project team and make sure that we have a firm date. And so I again want to I agree with Anshuman that on Thursday we'll have more of an update. But again, for the end-to-end, the focus was on simulating the end-to-end and running that upstream with the ability to rebroadcast that data to the downstream CMRI and Oasis systems to complete that end-to-end to prepare for the 9/21 market sim.
Thank you. So we look forward to, the more, definitely the more firm schedule on Thursday. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? All right, moving on. That's all I had for today's teleconference. The next one is scheduled on September 16th at 2 p.m. Now I'll open up for any queries or CD tickets that I can help you with. Please let me know.
Hey, Anshuman, this is Chunyu again. I do want to follow up on the suggestion we make, I guess me and along with a few other market participants make in the last call. I don't know, have you and your team have a chance, because remember we have little concern about going into the mid-October, what is the support looks like, what is the availability looks like from the support and environment standpoint, because with the EIM commingle in there. So I wish I can see maybe in the next week or so, we can see the schedule, what is wanting to go into September. What portion of the, the day we can run simulation and not interfere with the EIM. So I don't know if you guys have a chance to discuss that.
So let me break your question a couple of parts. So I still don't have the times on when we are going to do the ESDR for market simulation in the day, like which particular hours. Being said that, the second question, we are still committed to provide 2 full weeks of testing for ESDR 4. But if anything else is, any more testing is needed, we have to still discuss internally, and we haven't finalized on it, but we're probably looking at adding a couple of more settlement dates for market participants to test on those days, which are different than the days we are doing the EAN testing. I do not have the schedule for that right now.
Okay. So as long as you you will provide the visibility when it's a little more close to the actual time, I think that will be just very helpful for us to plan. The other question, the other question I have is, I don't know if you have any updates from the city tickets from what Isaac asked last week. One of them, I don't remember exactly. I feel that we're also interested to know the result. So can you also including the city ticket status and what's the issue, what's the resolution? I think that will also help.
Right, Jenny. So that ticket, we are still trying to figure out the whole issue, and we're trying to get it to resolution. As soon as I have the resolution, I will get the insight for you. I do not have it right now.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? All right, well, thank you everyone for joining the call. We'll see you back again on September 16th. Thank you.